Good afternoon, everybody. I hope all is well. Don't forget to go subscribe, like, share, all that fun stuff. And I do want to say thank you for viewing my videos, my lives, and just being here to share this experience with me as far as this channel growing. And it is continuing to grow, guys. And keep up the great work. It's all on you. Okay, what you're looking at right now is the plume. It's the very top from an aerial view. Oh, actually, it's a weather station screenshot, or however you want to call it, view of the top of the mushroom cloud that happened over the Palestine, Ohio train derailment. This is what it looked like from above. That is huge, guys, huge. And nobody knows how many towns or cities it is going to reach, especially when the wind catches this plume of smoke and carries it farther on out. Now, I do want to say, I apologize if the sound quality in this video is messed up, if it goes up and down. This is like the third time I've tried doing this, and for some reason, the volume keeps messing up. Guess it's time, really time for me to get a new laptop, new computer. I don't care. I've got to do something. But I'm going to try to read this report to you real quick and see what you think of it. There's also a clip of the guy that was in charge over the decision. I believe he was the one that made the decision to actually do the controlled burn of those train cars that carried those toxic chemicals. And I want you to hear what he has to say. And then I'll be back with you after that. If I have this correctly, guys, this is Governor Mike DeWine speaking.
There's a concern, the railroad has a serious concern which they can express to you about an explosion with one or more of these cars. They describe an explosion as potentially catastrophic. It could potentially explode, causing deadly disbursement of shrapnel and toxic fumes. So following new modeling information conducted this morning by the Ohio National Guard, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro are ordering an immediate evacuation in a 1 mile by 2 mile area surrounding East Palestine, which includes both Ohio and Pennsylvania. To alleviate the risk of this shrapnel, Norfolk Southern Railroad is planning a controlled release of the vinyl chloride at approximately 3:30 p.m. The controlled release of the toxic chemicals also has the potential to be deadly if inhaled. Those in the red area are facing grave danger of death if they are still in that area.
And here's the report. It says a train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio has brought problems to the town, but it is also creating problems to nearby cities, their residents, and the environmental agencies trying to keep the bad situation from getting worse. What was on the rail cars? Why were they ignited? What are the environmental and health effects of this catastrophe? On February the 3rd, 2023, a train traveling from Madison, Illinois to Norfolk, Penn, carrying a wide range of products, was derailed after it had some mechanical issues. Specifically, there were 50 cars derailed, but when they caught fire, it affected another 12 cars. Not all 50 cars were carrying toxic materials, such as vinyl chloride. Some carried wheat and some was malt liquor. East Palestine is under a state of an emergency with temporary evacuation orders. The order was lifted on February the 8th. To reduce the risk of a greater explosion and more runoff, having more hazardous materials spread, authorities decided to do a controlled release of 5 derailed cars by burning them. The ignition caused some explosions, but these were controlled. Before this, authorities advised residents within a 2-mile radius to remain indoors with the windows and doors closed. Residents within a closer radius were asked to evacuate. Plumes of pollutants scattered into the atmosphere from Ohio State after the train accident. The plume of pollutants were vinyl chloride. What is vinyl chloride? 5 of the derailed cars contained vinyl chloride. This material is used to make a variety of plastic products. The material, especially when burned, has a record of causing cancer in humans that have been exposed for a long time to the fumes ranging from leukemia to lung cancer. Short-term exposure could also cause some effects such as dizziness, rashes, and headaches. So what now? The fire is out, but the effects of the accident and burn continue to affect many residents of East Palestine. On Tuesday, Dr. Bruce Vanderoff, director of the Ohio Department of Health, said at the press conference that from the very start of this, we have taken every step possible to assure that people's safety was first and foremost. While the National Transportation Safety Board continues to investigate and is estimated to have a report on the accident in about 2 weeks, residents are left wondering if there will be long-term effects. The Environmental Protection Agency has monitored the air and has not detected levels of concern. Water tests show very low levels of contamination, but vinyl chloride is not one of the contaminants found. Authorities say that the water is safe to drink except for those who drink it from private wells. Private well water should continue to be tested and bottled water should be used instead while the testing continues. Dead fish have been found showing up in rivers. The initial explosion could have led contaminant runoff to reach the Ohio River, which is likely the cause of the fish kills. Authorities say that the size of the Ohio River can dilute pollutants quickly. There have been at least 7 train derailments across the country so far this month, as railway accidents have gained more attention in recent weeks. Only 2 months into 2023, there have already been more than a dozen reported incidences this year. Train derailments have gained national attention recently after Norfolk Southern Railway train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, releasing toxic chemicals into the town and prompting mass evacuations. Trains have been fundamental to the American transportation system for 200 years, delivering passengers and goods across the country. Unfortunately, railway accidents like derailments are nothing new. In 2021, there were 1,087 derailments that resulted in 83 injuries and 3 fatalities, according to the U.S. Department of Transportation Bureau of Transportation Statistics. That's down from 1,440 derailments in 2011 and down from 2,234 derailments in 2001. Between 1990 and 2021, there were a total of 54,570 derailments for an average of 1,705 a year, with that figure averaging to about 142 derailments a month. 2023 is so far on track to continue the declining trend in yearly incidences. On February 1st, a train derailed in Talladega County, Alabama, just off Highway 21 in the Sycamore area. According to the Talladega County Emergency Management Agency, one of the cars was leaking limestone slurry, but there was no hazardous material threat and no injuries were reported. Also on February 1st, a train with the Canadian National Railway Company fell off the track outside of Detroit. There were 9 cars off the tracks, with some seen hanging off of a bridge over the street below. No injuries or hazmat situations was reported, and the cars were reportedly empty at the time of the incident. 2 days later, the derailment in East Palestine, Ohio occurred. A light rail train outside of Philadelphia derailed between 2nd Street Station and Spring Garden Station at 11:45 p.m. on February the 4th, according to WHYY. About 100 people were on the train, but the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority said there were no reported injuries. Officials said that the incident happened as a result of a broken piece of track. On February 13th, a Union Pacific train collided with an 18-wheeler near Splendora, Texas, killing the driver and derailing 21 rail cars, according to the Splendora Police Department. Union Pacific spokesperson Robin Tisver, I don't know, told Houston Public Media that its hazmat crews were on site as an estimated 100 gallons of diesel fuel were released in the crash. Tisver said there was no major chemical concern. That same day, a train derailed in Enory, South Carolina. The CSX Transportation said in a statement that there were no injuries and no reports of leaks or freight spills. The cause of the incident is still under investigation. On Thursday, a train derailed in Van Buren Township in Michigan. There were no injuries reported, and the Van Buren Public Safety Department said there was no evidence of exposed hazardous materials. The train was operated by Norfolk Southern, the same operators behind the East Palestine derailment, local outlet WXYZ reported. Well, there's that report, guys. And so, as bad as this seems, and it does seem pretty bad, and I have my own thoughts and theories about it, it seems like these derailments, although we're seeing a bunch of them now, we're right on track as to what it's been for the last 30 years, nearly 30 years. So maybe it's just because things pick up on the internet, on the web, on YouTube, and the more exposure and the more people talk about one specific thing, the bigger it makes it look, the bigger it makes it seem. So I'm not positive that I mean, yes, the chemical spill is huge. It is drastically huge. And I have heard that now that the Ohio State government, or whoever it was that decided to do the controlled burn, is talking about suing Norfolk Southern for the controlled burn, because it is causing so much havoc on the environment and the fish and the animals, and possibly making people sick. And now they're blaming the railroad for the controlled burn, even though it was the government that decided to do the controlled burn. That makes absolutely no sense to me, but I guess that's the way the government works, isn't it? Anyways, that's your update for the train situation. There's the statistics about how many trains normally derail every year, and what has been going on for at least the last 20 years as far as how many have derailed. Take from it what you will. My concern is the toxic gas and stuff, but I know there was a lot of people have worried that there's been a reason why so many trains are being derailed. But that part of it I don't think we have to worry about, because evidently we're right on track. No pun intended. Anyways, guys, y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next video.